Hi everyone, the Lone Wolf here. Welcome back to some EVE Online, and in today's video we're going to discuss some of the changes that I've made to the Orca. So a lot of people were a little bit disturbed by the feat that I showed in the video about mining, and they were rightly so, pointing out some pretty major mistakes. I thought just going up for straight HP would make a lot of sense, but since that HP doesn't stack percentage wise, it's actually much more efficient to go for some resistances. So I learned a lot from all the comments. I tried to take a lot of that in. I also got a little bit of advice from a few players in game as well, which was always very nice. And here is what I came up with. First of all, someone said at least put one tank rig in there. I don't agree with that. The idea I do think of making the Orca competitive with other players, especially for people that want to solo mine a lot like myself. I think you have to go for the full yield. The Orca in and of itself is big enough. I think that you can afford to risk that. Basically, if someone wants to gank your ship, they're going to do it regardless of what happens, regardless of what you do. And so that one rig I actually don't think is going to make that much of a difference. Now you can see that I adapted my high slots. I put in one mining form burst 2, which at the moment gives optimization, but I'm also in a fleet that gives that boost, so we're not using that. But then I chose two shield command bursts, one for resistance, so extension, one for more HP, so extension charge, and one for harmonizing charge, so more resistances. And then of course in the mid slot is where the big changes happen. So an EM Ward Amplifier 2, here I have a Caldari Navy Large Shield Extender, got that pretty cheaply, so I think it was worth it to go with a faction, a few faction pieces here also. A Gist A-type Thermal Dissipation Field, 60% thermal damage resistance should be pretty good, and then two Adaptive Invulnerability Fields. And the final change in the low slot right here, of course, I thought at first maybe a lot of, some agility could help with basically warping in and out, but since you really don't have to warp that often in the Orca, it makes a lot more sense to go for more HP. So there we go, Reinforced Bulkhead 2 and Damage Control. You can see that my normal state, if I don't activate anything or overheat anything, is already at 352,000 HP, which I think is not all that bad. But of course, even if I'm not in a fleet, I can actually boost myself. And so we're going to do that at this point. The other person in fleet is actually giving me survey module range and duration and capacity use bonus for mining. So let's activate my optimization burst. I think we have one miner in range as well. That's 31.5 is actually a better bonus from mine. But most importantly, let's increase our resistances and our HP, which gives us a boost to 384,000 HP. So not that bad, honestly. This doesn't cost that much. Oops, and I should really get back to mining. This doesn't cost all that much, and it gives you extra HP. On top of that, you can give it to the entire fleet as well. And in case of emergency, one thing to note is of course that I could still overload my mid-rack. So let's maybe first take these out so that I can stagger them. I don't want too much damage, so I'm only going to do it for like one cycle. So there we go. I'll overload the rack, and then we'll activate each of these for one cycle so that I don't take too much damage. And this boosts me to 412,000 HP, which I think is going to be a decently difficult nut to crack, especially compared to some of the mining ships like mining barges and machinas that are fit for full yield. So there you go, those are the changes. Oops, let's reactivate this without the overheating. You can see I do take a little bit of damage here, 9% damage in no time and 8% as well. But this is basically, you see a gank happening, activate your, overload your mid-rack and try to eke out as much EHP as you can. So I think this is a lot better, of course. Thank you very much everyone for pointing me out to that mistake. I'm only human, and so I'm pretty happy with the way this is working out, because I can still keep a pretty good yield as well with the 3 rigs right there. Another thing that I wanted to mention in this video is something that I've been thinking about a little bit, because someone has also been contacting me about getting into citadels and getting into their own structures and things like that. And one thing that I think is very important to know about EVE Online, it's a pretty unique game in the sense that I think it's far more important to enjoy the journey than it is to reach the goal. And from that perspective, a tip that I would give everyone is to it's okay to take your time in EVE Online. It's in fact, in my opinion, what it's all about is taking your time, enjoying the journey that is the game, and not focusing too hard on trying to reach your goal, trying to reach your destination as quickly as possible. And that is why you're seeing me in this pretty weird setup where I only have one augmented mining drone and 4 mining drone 2s. The reason is, at the moment, the way I'm going by this is I'm earning fresh ISK from my mining and from my blueprint copies, and as I earn enough ISK to get over a certain point in my wallet, I buy one augmented mining drones. These are still extremely expensive at the moment. I bought this one for 137 million ISK, which, well, compared to a Tech 2 mining drone, is a pretty crazy investment, but I feel like I've worked for that one. I've made that ISK, and as a result, I basically rewarded myself with the first augmented mining drone. The bonus that it gives is not bad. If I show you guys here, show info. It's now 305 cubic meters a minute. Keep in mind as well, 2 of my skills, the mining drone specialization and mining foreman, are still at 4 instead of 5. So this will still get increased a little bit through my skills. But remember, 305 for the augmented mining drone. And if I show info on the mining drone 2, it's only 252 cubic meters. So pretty much a 20% increase in mining yield if I can replace all of these with augmented mining drones. I do think that this starts to bring the Orca in a respectable position when it comes to yield. At that point, the much bigger cargo hold of around 180,000 cubic meters is going to play a pretty major role as well. And it's basically a much bigger tank as well that will take more effort to gank, and as you can see here, 400,000 HP in case of emergencies with overheating is definitely possible without too much bling. The faction pieces that I bought here were really not all that expensive. I was looking for a faction EM amplifier as well, but I just couldn't find something that was not too pricey, so I settled for a Tech 2. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the results here. Yeah, boost yourself for extra HP, extra resistances as well. This can only help, and as a result, there you go. This is currently the Orca that I'm flying in EVE Online. Hope it's an improvement. I hope everybody likes it. Keep one thing in mind in EVE Online. Oh no, maybe keep 2 things in mind now that I think about it, what I said in the video. Number 1, it's okay to take your time. It's okay to set a goal for a longer term. Don't feel the need to rush to that. Just work there one step at a time. Make sure you enjoy the game. It's gonna avoid you burning out and all of that good stuff. And number 2, don't fly what you can't afford to lose. If somebody would choose to gank this Orca, that's, to me personally, that's okay, because I could replace it just the next day without any problem. I have the liquid ISK for it, so I'm willing to fly this Orca like this in this belt, using it to mine. And I think that like that, it makes the game quite enjoyable. It's okay to go for something a little bit bigger, a little bit more pricey as your top end ship, as long as I've said, you're willing to lose it. And there you go, guys. I hope that this can alleviate some of the comments that I've seen when it came to the Orca fitting. Hope this is a little bit better. Feel free to post your comments and give me more advice. I'm always happy to receive it and see what I can do with it. And for now, thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you all next time, and happy mining.